Friday evening, just after dinner, and the apartment smells like mom's perfume. Nauseating, but somehow a welcome comfort. I can't begin to describe to you the process she goes through to manipulate her appearance. The hundreds of products on display on her bedroom vanity. Cans of Aquanet, tubes of lipstick, all the same shade of red. After hours of painstaking work, she checks her teeth in the mirror one last time if she leaves. She says some sappy goodbye, knowing that even though she'll be back in a few hours, this might be the last chance she gets to lay eyes on her children. Life had made her aware of the futility of her expectations. But I'm just 11, and I know that mom will return late tonight, smelling of beer and cigarettes and laughing too loud in a house full of sleeping children. Our babysitter is an underpaid teenager from a few doors down. Jen. Jen is cool. We like her because she has no rules and lets us do whatever we want, except tonight. Tonight, Jen is upset about something and immediately insists that we behave and stay quiet. In her childlike voice, she barks her demands at me and my sister. We respond with quiet hesitation. Jen notices our visible discouragement and announces, as if she was provoked by our despondency, that she wants to tell us a ghost story. Our interest piqued as she sits on the kitchen floor next to us. The room is unnaturally lit by a single fluorescent bulb above the sink full of dirty dishes. We wipe away the cat hair and dust on the floor as Jen begins her unnerving tale. When I was a girl, Jen says energetically, I had a babysitter who I loved. We would play games, we would take long walks. Even though she was much older than me, we got along really well. One day, we played hide and go seek. It was my turn to hide. The only place that I ever hid was under the coffee table in the living room. My babysitter knew this, but still played along, keeping me in suspense, as she turned the house upside down, looking everywhere else first. The babysitter, now with her head down, counts down from 30, as I scamper away and slide my small 4-year-old body under the sturdy piece of furniture. Lying belly down on a cool tile floor, I breathe heavy and listen to her as she counts down. I hear 11, 10, 9, 8. She stops counting. A grin still on my face, I wait to hear her voice say, "Ready or not, here I come." But I hear no such thing. As I lie there, long after the countdown had ended, I started to think that I had done a great job at hiding. Usually, by now, she had found me. Impatiently, I poke my head out from under the coffee table. As I do, a sudden thud shakes the floor from the kitchen. Reactively, I slide back under the table and peer towards the hallway that leads to the kitchen. Another moment passes. Another thud. Now, heavy footsteps. My wonder turns to worry as a shadow moves in the hallway. Slowly, my babysitter rounds the corner. Too dark to identify what object she has cradled in her arms, but as she comes into the light, I see her now. Eyes closed, with a small child in her arms. Watching from my hiding spot, I witness the truly unreal. My babysitter passes me by, and in her arms, she is cradling a child. The child is me. Not knowing what to do or how to react, I stay hidden and watch the babysitter, with child in hand, go past me and turn up the stairs. Once she's out of sight, I remain hidden, listening to her every footstep. After a moment, the footsteps cease and all is quiet. I don't move from under the coffee table until 7 hours later when my parents come home. I melt down and tantrum as I tell them of how the babysitter carried a little girl that looked like me upstairs and how afraid I was. My parents go upstairs to investigate. I wait downstairs, still under the coffee table, nervously anticipating their reaction. Only after a few seconds, my father sprints downstairs, grabs the phone off the receiver, dialing just 3 numbers, placing the phone to his ear. I see his eyes darting around the room nervously. His eyes meet mine. I see tears. The voice on the phone answers. My father's serious voice cracks while he gives his name and address. Jen pauses. She looks at me and my sister's faces, visible with fear and anxiety. Jen asks if she should continue. We nod, with jaws hung open and eyes unblinking. Jen says, well, the story ends here. After my dad called 911, he took me to my grandma's house, and I never knew what happened to the babysitter. Years went by, and after a while, I forgot all about it. I grew too big to hide under the coffee table, and eventually I even got a new babysitter. It's so weird, though. Sometimes, when it's quiet, I swear I still hear the same thud from the kitchen. Must be my imagination. But the strangest thing is that when I'm alone and it's late at night, I swear I can still hear footsteps in the hallway walking back and forth all night long. Jen smiles and says, well, was it scary? I stutter as I quickly say no, but my little sister reacts more honestly. She says, is that a true story? Jen says after a moment of consideration that the story is true, but we don't have to worry because this happened in a different town years ago. Just then, the kitchen door flies open wildly. We jump. Mom forgot her lighter.